Yo, welcome back to Kai Speaks, bro. I appreciate all the love and support y'all been showing on these videos, man. I've been a lot better at posting these videos up, especially this week. I think this is the most videos I've posted in a week in a minute because it's gonna be my third video. I really been one day on, one day off, one day on. Really just trying to get consistent in the and making content, posting new content every single day. I love the re-uploads, but I also do like making new content out there for y'all. It's definitely just it feels better, feels more authentic to put these real videos out there. Not real videos, but like the newer videos, so that way I can genuinely, know what I'm going through that life so far. One of the biggest things that I'm learning to do as an entrepreneur right now, bro, is just really look at everything that's good in my life and enjoy it while it lasts, bro. Because one of the biggest things that's been going on is that, with the whole card issues, money wise, it's just all things that I know eventually I'll get over. And, I just have to continue to work to get past that every single day. And honestly, just be able to push and become a better person every single day. One of the biggest mistakes that I was making so far was I was trying to go on this journey to, make money and, trade and do all this stuff and like all different kinds of entrepreneur stuff and content creation stuff. But one thing that I wasn't really necessarily focusing on is working on myself in the process. And that's what genuinely started letting me down because it was things that I could have had done. But, one of the biggest things that probably held me back was procrastination. But I'll talk about that because that's what I wanted the main point of the video to be. But so like really just I was really slacking on a lot of things and I wasn't really working on myself. So I was making a lot of the same mistakes repeatedly because I wasn't working on myself, right? And I think one of the biggest things about, when you start making money from being an entrepreneur, you kind of feel like you've made it a little bit in a sense, but then you look at the grand scheme of things and you haven't even, touched the surface of where you're trying to be at, right? So one of the biggest things that I'm trying to learn how to do now is to continue one, work hard as ever, right? Make things a little bit easier for myself so that way I can continue longer, right? Because if I'm just constantly doing the hardest thing that I could possibly be doing, sooner or later it's going to drain me out and it's going to mess me up, right? So I'm trying to find out the easiest process to do content creation, day trading, and things like that. But today my main point of this video is actually procrastination, bro. Procrastination is one of the biggest things that will kill your riches, kill your hopes and your dreams, bro. Because like, bro, procrastination is one of those things that like you don't realize you do it until it's too late, right? Like you're procrastinating on getting your car fixed because you feel like, oh, I'll do it the next day, and it turns into a year, and then it turns into a bigger problem that overall ends up messing you up in the long run. And all it took was probably for you to go get it done as soon as the problem showed up. But procrastination is one of those things that I've been trying to work on for so long, and I just genuinely feel like procrastination can um, hold back a lot of people. One of the biggest ways that I learned to get through procrastination is to think about the negatives of if I didn't get what I need to get done at that moment, right? And I genuinely think that if if it's way worse than me just getting up and going to do it now, then I'm just gonna go do it now, right? Because there's no point in me going through a whole process and not knowing how bad it's gonna get because I procrastinated, right? So one of my biggest things that I'm trying to work on, and that's one of the hardest things to work on, is procrastination, right? But I genuinely feel like a lot of people go through procrastination just because of, distractions around them, whether it's social media. I think everybody should limit their social media time. Even if you are a content creator, I think you should limit your social media time. Um, and I think you should focus on more thriving things that are going to make you want to get up and do something, right? And when I say this because a lot of people will get on TikTok and you're not going to want to do anything while you're scrolling on TikTok. You're not going to want to do anything while you're scrolling on Instagram. But if you're listening to a motivational podcast and you need to get some stuff done, you're most likely going to get it done, right? But the biggest thing about just procrastination, bro, is just trying to get that out of your life. So I like, as soon as something comes up or you need to do something, do it as soon as possible. And it'll slowly start making you a better person, a more productive person, somebody who's, thriving for success. Like, you can tell a person who's Like, you can tell the difference between a person who's trying to become successful and a person who, doesn't really care about where they are in life as long as they're having fun, right? Because most of the time, people who are having fun are the procrastinators, bro, because they like to live in the moment. They don't like to think about the future, right? They like to live in the moment, do everything then and there, and just, purely just could care less about the future. Is going to come when it comes, right? But a successful person is going to think about the future. That's why they're not going to procrastinate. That's why they're going to get the stuff done now, so that way it makes their life easier in the future, right? But I think one of the biggest things about me so far, bro, is just like, this YouTube channel has definitely changed me in a huge way. It's allowed me to be able to reach out to people who may be going through the same problems with me, be able to help motivate people start up things that they've been wanting to start up, but they just never really had a reason to start it up. But I feel like I've genuinely gotten to a point where we're growing, right? And I definitely see the potential in this YouTube channel. I see the potential in Kai Academy. I see the potential in day trading, content creation, just being an entrepreneur in general, right? Like, I've genuinely started to have more hope and faith in myself every single day when I post content, bro, because I see the growth. And when you see the growth, it's something that, like, you really can't explain this feeling to others, and others aren't going to ever be able to feel what you're going through, right? For example, when you first make money from your entrepreneur business and you're able to pay for something huge, you really start to reflect on, like, wow, I really did something that's out of the norm in my own terms to make money in order to pay off something, or in order to afford something that I've always wanted, right? Or even just holding a certain amount of cash, like, in your hands. And like, that's one thing that I suggest. If you're somebody who's been becoming an entrepreneur and you start making a decent amount of money, take it out in cash and just look at it. Whether you just want to take it out in cash, because I took it out in cash for a savings reason, right? But whether it's you just take it out in cash and you just, to save it, but just looking at how much money I've made really was some motivation in order for me to get to that next level, that I need to keep going. I need to keep being consistent. I need to keep being on top of things, right? Like, one of the biggest things about being an entrepreneur is that you're going to have days where you're up. You're going to have a whole bunch of days where you're down, right? But I think everybody should enjoy their wins a little bit. I'm always hard on myself. So one of the hardest things for me to do is enjoy my wins and not care about my losses, right? Because, like, for example, if I win on a trade, right? Let's say I win 1,300. I'm gonna act all calm and cool, collected, because you need to be sometimes. But if I lose $200, $500, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be down about it. I'm gonna be stressed about it. And it's not a balance, right? Because I'm winning a lot of money, but as soon as I lose a little bit of money, I start getting down on myself, and that's gonna continue to, one, break down my confidence as an entrepreneur and as a day trader, and two, just not make me a better person to be able to be in the right mindset to become better, right? Because I'm always gonna be down on myself. But yeah, man, I just really wanted to keep that video a little bit short, bro. I wanted to talk about, one, my experiences as an entrepreneur so far, two, procrastination, which has been huge. It's been popping up every single day. And, like, it's really showing me that you have to be on top of things at all times, right? But, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials at KaiSpeaks05. And if you're interested in my day trading journey, follow me at Kai Academy 05, where I post from January to now my trading growth and how I've grown in this year so far. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. I hope you make the most out of 2025, bro. Peace.